All right, good morning, everybody. It's Tuesday, April 27th, 8 a.m. my time. Price of Bitcoin currently at 55,100 and some change. It looks like we made some more movement over the last, several hours overnight. After a whole lot of chop right here, right? We're starting to make our move up. The good thing is funding for the most part, again, funding is all about how many levered positions are in the market and how aggressive are the levered traders. Funding, for the most part, is pretty clean across the board. Nothing too aggressive. In fact, Bybit, Fenex, and OKX are literally negative funding. So when you have negative funding, it's basically short traders are effectively paying long traders to still be short. Which is great for us because, as the prices go up, generally what will happen is these traders will get squeezed out of the market, and that will further accelerate price up higher. Because if you're short, you're paying funding and you're losing on your position, it's a double whammy, right? So you more than likely feel the pressure on the upside whenever price pushes up. And the question is, right, how high has price pushed up, and are we going to retrace from here, or are we just going to straight up blast to 60K from here? Well, in my opinion, I think more than likely we're going to come into 55, maybe 56, and probably retrace a little bit down. I told y'all yesterday, I believe that there might be some sort of range that might develop over the next, 1 day, 3 days, 2 weeks. I don't know how long. But see, the longer we develop a range in, say, this box right here, and I especially like this box because this is where you have previous support coming back, another base being built, broke up and out, right? So if you come back inside this box and you build a base right here, this will effectively be, a KSR level, like this whole area, showing that there's reaccumulation potentially happening, especially if we don't break down further. Okay, so that's what I'm hoping for. Not sure if I'll get it, but that's what I'm hoping for ideally. Now on the daily basis, the marker is pretty clear, right? We have the pivot marker right here around 55.2. You can see price is literally banging into the door of that right now. Okay. I don't expect price action to break through this right away. I maybe expect, pivot, rejecting us, pulling down. If we need to break up, then we'll do something like this, I would figure. And that might be, say, 1 to 2 days of retracement. And the cool part about this is, excuse my voice. The cool part about this is as Bitcoin is coming into a key area of resistance, right? And if you look at the 4-hour time frame, okay, this was basically, if you look at this X right here, right? I'm going to put that X, which is right above this marker right here, okay? And let me zoom in for y'all so y'all can see. Okay, so let me pull this down, go like this, put that down right there, okay? So why do I have the X above this? If you remember, after this big drop, we had this big consolidation right here, and then boom, right? Collapse. Okay, so that means that from this area of consolidation right here, after this collapse, what you effectively have is anyone who is short here, here, right? Or even from way the heck back here, they may have reduced their stop all towards this X right here. Okay, and that X is somewhere around 55.5. So if price wicks into that area, guess what? We're going to have a lot of stops being hit for short positions. Now, generally what happens is whenever you do wick into an area where there is a good amount of shorts, right, they're going to try to defend their position. Or in fact, what we'll see is a bunch of traders get squeezed out, but then we realize that there's not enough demand to push through this level yet. So you wick into there, and then you start collapsing back down, retracing, like I said, building that big base down here, right? That may be the next big scenario that may happen. And that would probably be good because if you notice, say something like FTT, okay, coming into the same kind of area where, stops are being hit, right, of short positions. Anyone who went short up here and on the way down has their stop right above this marker, which we just broke into, right? ETH and many other assets, they're starting to challenge their previous highs that they had last week, right? A week or two ago, whenever that was, okay? So I'm starting to recognize that literally the whole market, along with BTC, is coming into a key inflection point of resistance. So if the whole market is coming into an area of resistance, well, what do I expect for, I don't know, say the next 1 to 2 days? Statistically, I would say that the whole market, or most of the market rather, will probably have, I don't know, a bit of a pullback. So say BTC wicks into here, it pulls back a little bit for the next, 24, 48 hours, something like that. Who knows? Maybe it gets back towards this area where we found support and we bounced off, which is around 52, 53,000. Maybe we get back towards this pivot right here, which is the new weekly pivot that we have, which is around 51,200 and some change. And maybe we get back down towards this base, which is where we bounced up from, which is around like 49,000, 49,500. Okay. So on the way down, you guys now have supports to watch out for. Okay. Personally, I think statistically, as the whole market is coming into an area of resistance, I would figure that from here, we do see a bit more of a pullback. Okay. So if you're anticipating that, well, how can you plan it, right? First of all, you could just say, all right, well, on the pullback, I'll just buy on the way down, right? I'll just buy on the way down at key support levels. Like I said, 53. This pivot right here is around 51.2. And then this area is around 49 and some change, right? So you could buy on the supports on the way down. Okay. The other way is if you really, really want to go short, say you go short right above this area, your stop is above this high right here. And then you could start targeting, like I said, the markers that I just mentioned, right? 52 and some change, 51.2, and then 49.5, whatever this level is, right? I don't think it's necessary at all. And again, you guys have seen me really not short, right? I've just been kind of hanging on to the market, just trying to figure it out. And when I don't know what's happening in the market, I kind of just let it do its thing. Because here's the thing, right? I mean, shorting in a market like this, it's just tough. Okay, it's just tough. And if you want to go for the higher probability trades with better success, you just follow the trend, right? If the market comes down enough and you start to recognize, okay, maybe a bottom is being put in, maybe the whole market has a bid under it, meaning the whole market is being supported and bought at this level, then you just go long again. And this is something that we did, obviously, Sunday, right? We saw that the market had bottomed down here. I even mentioned to Advantage members that keep an eye on this VWAP yearly, okay, which pinged it literally at the bottom, right? And then we bounced up hard. And at the same time, we picked up a few positions in the market. We picked up FTT, which again, right around $54 right now. We picked up Ray, this position right here, hit 14. So from our $10.50 move right here, right? We're up almost 32% in the matter of like 2 days, 3 days. Okay, so not too bad, right? Just even hanging out in spot sometimes with those positions, it helps. And it especially helps to be on the right side of the direction of the market. I had a couple people message me that, they kept shorting aggressively over the last week or so. And even though the market was breaking down, they still lost money because they weren't able to anticipate how long to hold their short. And then the market ripped straight up, trapping them at the bottom. They didn't have stops and they got blasted up. So you don't ever want to be caught in those situations. Okay. When the market drops and you're in a short position, secure the profit. Don't think that, all right, guys, I caught the top and from here, this is the beginning of the bear market or whatever. The odds are not in your favor for that. Okay. Focus on where the high probability trades are. focus on the trend of the market, and more often than not, you're going to make money, okay? If you just follow the trend. All right, so we talked about Ray. Now I mean, again, I'm kind of a big fan of Ray, SRM, all basically the, how would you say, SBF tokens, if you will, right? SBF meaning this guy, Sam Bankman-Fried, right? So he's the CEO of FTX. He is also involved in the Serum project, Solana, and Radium protocol. Okay. So all in all, I mean, he's gotten hands in all these projects, right? And we as a crypto community see him somewhat morally better than, say, CZ, and somewhat more capable and competent than many other folks in crypto who are running projects. So if we give him, say, the benefit of the doubt, and we say, all right, you know, this guy's building good projects, you know, he's funding them, he's actively helping promote the projects, he's actively building, you can actively see, you know, more and more money flow and activity on these projects. Well, then I'm going to focus on the projects that this guy is behind, and I'm going to invest in them, right? So Radium is one of them. Serum is another one. Solana is another one. FTT is another one. These are what we call the SBF tokens, right? So the SBF tokens have done particularly well. Radium is just getting started, in my opinion, right? Because guess what? Radium has literally been in a range right here since 22nd of February. It has only been in a range, and now it's starting to just come back towards its previous highs that it put in at the end of February. So if we get up past this high and we get into price discovery, I have no doubt that this will probably get towards like $25, maybe $30. I mean, again, not investment advice, but that's just my thought process. Because if you're having this 2-month consolidation and say the whole market looks like it's, you know, at least relatively bullish, especially altcoins, I'm looking for the first signs of these tokens, the SBF tokens, especially if Radium has not broken out hard like Solana did. I'm expecting Radium to rip over the next coming days or coming weeks. Right? So that's kind of my thought process right now. All right. Jordan says, very high probability of a higher low above the pivot. No. Healthiest outlook. Yeah, I think so, right? Like, you know, the other thing is, if we pay attention to our indicators, okay, you know, we have our proprietary indicators that Harry built, right? So even Harry talked about this. You know, he was expecting somewhat of a, you know, movement back up, right? Like a mean reversion movement back up, okay? We came into this area right here around the red ribbon. Now I'm expecting, you know, potential upside towards this aqua line, which is somewhere around 55, or I'm sorry, that's 56 and some change. All right, so let's just say 56,500. Again, this is based on this 4-hour trend maker and swing indicator ribbon, okay? The daily, right? The daily has, let me hide this stuff. The daily has already hit, or actually maybe it's close to it. Now the daily is coming very close to the trend maker ribbon right here from the bottom side up. So from the bottom side up, if you hit it like that, well, what happens? This is basically resistance, right? And where is that resistance right here at the bottom of the ribbon? Somewhere around 55,500. Guess what else is over there? The pivot right here, this pivot marker, right? Pretty close to it, right? So all in all, I mean, we have the pivot right here. We have the 4-hour marker that I showed y'all where, you know, we put this X earlier, right? Short liquidity above this area. And then on top of that, we have the confluence of this trend maker ribbon. So all in all, and actually, I think we even have the, let me see. Now, this is the 20 moving average. This one's a little bit further away. That's around like 57. Yeah, so all in all, I mean, we have the confluence around this 55 marker of couple of different, scenarios, right? Or a couple of different confluences. Okay, so it's possible that we pose some resistance, and then as Jordan said, we may come down a little bit, put in a higher low, meaning, right, low, higher low, hopefully we get a higher high like that, and then start taking off in the next week or something. Again, I'm still expecting a bit of a larger consolidation in this area, but we'll see, right? I think the thing is with Bitcoin, I'm kind of looking at Bitcoin from the standpoint of the larger base you build down here, right, in this area, it means that there's more potential for, I don't know, a bigger reaccumulation process, more time for altcoins to start breaking out. But again, Bitcoin has not had, say, a large reaccumulation structure like that since back here. Okay, if y'all look back here, this is September 2020. Look, we had this big drop, right? Then we had basically this structure sideways from 3rd of September till almost when we broke out above right here, right? 3rd of September till 9th of October. So basically a little bit over a month. Yeah. So that's hopefully what we get this time around. But again, not at all necessary, right? And if we do look at this structure right here, it's entirely possible that that might be, say, we might be over here based on that. So what I'm saying is the movement up that you're seeing right now may be analogous to this movement right here. And then maybe we have this come down a little bit, put in that higher low structure, and then start breaking up and out. That would be very ideal for us to get a situation like that. Okay. Jordan says, Crypto Credit explained it nicely. SBF is the our generation's Jeff Bezos. I totally agree. Yeah. Yeah, I definitely would not like to bet against SBF for sure. Can I check the 3-day chart with the proprietary indicators? Yeah, for sure. Let's do that. Let's go here, 3-day. Ooh, that's not helpful at all. Well, so far the 3-day looks nicely bullish engulfing, but then what it's effectively saying is, well, we may have a little bit more downside to go in case we want to tag these ribbons, right? So if we come down towards these ribbons, that's somewhere around $44,000 to $45,000. Okay. Shepherd indicator is actually signaling that maybe around this area, we may have a bit more downside, a bit more momentum to the downside. So, the other thing is I am well aware that okay, maybe this is, say like a bearish retest and then we roll over some more. It's possible that we do that. I don't know like the odds of that happening right now because the market does look pretty strong. But again, that could change, right? Like this is why we are paying attention to the key areas of resistance that we are. Okay, so like this area right here, around 55, if you want to go short and you think that we're going to at least come back towards these lows or head towards lower lows, well, then you have your short. You're coming up into that short around 55,000. You place your stop above these highs right here. Let me hide this stuff. You place your stop above these highs right here, right? And you could target, say, these lows again, 49, 50,000, or if you want to head towards lower lows like 45, 47,000 or something like that, you could do that as well, right? Well, you could take that on as a hedge. I am not so inclined to do so, but we'll see, right? I also want to just see how the monthly is going to close, right? Here's the thing, okay? The one thing that is definitely concerning to me is the way the monthly looks right now. By the end of the month, so we have 3 days, 3.5 days, right? By the end of the month, if this is a red candle right here, this will be the first red candle that we've had on a monthly basis in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 months. I don't know what that means, but we haven't really had a red candle since back here. But then obviously after that, we just took off, right? Do we have this movement again after this? I don't know. I think it's unlikely. So who knows? Maybe we pause, right? Maybe we pause around here. Maybe we have another down month, right? Or a consolidation month, maybe an inside month, meaning we don't really break down further and we also don't break down higher, but we just have, a consolidation inside the body and the wicks of the previous month, right? So the candle might look, say, something like this, where it's just inside the highs and the lows of the previous month. Okay, so that would be inside candle. Maybe, we'll see, right? If it closes as a hanging man, then I'm probably a little bit concerned. But nonetheless, with hanging mans, you want to see follow through. With everything in trading, you want to see follow through. Okay. But we do know that, again, something that we've discussed for literally like weeks, right? Momentum loss, first momentum loss, second momentum loss, definitely momentum loss, right? So obviously this is not rocket science, right? I mean, any child could look at this and say, all right, guys, for a while, we were just going straight up, parabolic, and then we lost some momentum right here. Then we went sideways with the loss of momentum. Then we broke down. This is how markets generally work, right? Consolidation, breakout, another, say, consolidation right here. And this means either it's a distribution, we break down from here, or it's a reaccumulation, we break up from here. That's just how it works. Okay. So all in all, again, just to recap, I'm expecting maybe the next day or two of just sideways movements and consolidation. We already had some very big up movements over the last 2 or 3 days. So I'm not expecting another massive day today itself. If we do, I would be really surprised, but I'm kind of banking on the next day or two to just be kind of calm, so you could start mapping out, this is where you start doing your homework, right? You could consider those shorts that I mentioned. And again, I'm not going to be taking shorts, but I'm just mentioning it to y'all. And with that, I will warn you, I don't think it's wise to take shorts, especially if you're sizing up a lot. But if you do want to hedge and say you're wanting to take on that gamble, then you can, right? You have the option to do so. But again, follow the trend, right? Trend is up, market is up, waiting for pullbacks on good assets may help you, okay? What was I going to say? So yeah, the market is coming into resistance. We talked about, altcoins potentially all coming into resistance as well. Here's another thing, right? Look at ETH, right? I mean, grinding movement higher, RSI, momentum loss, and basically kind of like a bearish divergence. But this is a building bearish divergence right here. I would probably figure, say, if Bitcoin starts pulling down, if other altcoins start pulling down, this thing is probably going to get sent down maybe tonight, maybe tomorrow, back towards at least 2475 and maybe down towards like 2400, maybe even towards this pivot around 2350. Okay. Anything on the option side coming up that's interesting? I don't know, actually. I haven't really been paying attention to options a whole lot because the market has been pretty clear. Let's see. I usually follow this guy for options insight, but let's see here a bit. Last update of theirs was April 22nd. That's prior to the movement that we've had right here. So that's not going to be helpful for us right now. So I guess looks like someone still bought May 7th, 60 to 62K strike calls. May 28th, 50K strike puts also bought. I don't know. This looks like a bi-directional kind of protection. It doesn't look like someone is betting, heavy on one side or the other. Yeah, sometimes options are just protection, right? I mean, you know, if I say, you know, if you wanted to take on, say, a $50 million position in the market, right? Well, you may take on the other side of the bet in options, you know, as a hedge. So when we see that, say, on the outside looking in, we think, oh man, someone's betting really heavily on the short side or the long side. And you think that, okay, that just means that they're expecting price to go up or down. Well, that's not really the case. All they're betting on is just a hedge. It's protection. That's it. So you can see, you know, the perception of how those bets are taken can be, you know, very ill-conceived. I heard a few days ago that price between 54 and 50K is max pain for both sides. I don't know. We'll have to look it up. I forgot the option site that really helped me. Someone had sent it to me. I'll look it up and I'll send it to y'all in Bitcoin chat. I'll go over it a little bit. But yeah, we'll talk about it. Okay. I'll post a chart about it if I find it. All right. I think that's pretty much it, folks. I don't think I need to cover anything else. Okay. Let's see here. XRP. I know someone wanted me to cover XRP, so I'll just do that real quick. You know, I figure XRP is moving like any other asset right now, meaning as it comes into its own respective resistance, you know, it's probably going to face some chop around this area, right? Some movement up and down. The next big level for XRP though, this marker right here, okay? And I would figure that, say if we do come down for XRP, like, you know, you come down here and then you start pushing back up, I'd aim for $1.60. Why? Because not only was $1.60 the previous SR level right here, but this was the last lower high right here before we broke down, right? So that means that there's probably definitely stops residing right above that area. So you just squeeze right into that and you'll definitely tag $1.60 right there. Okay. All right, that's it, folks. Y'all take care. I will catch up with you soon. Okay, cheers.